Have you had any experience just like them? Can you find any similarities of their actions? They are actually multitasking. 21st century is a century of time and efficiency. The ability of multitasking is highlighted. As for students, it is common for us to perform multiple tasks at the same time. But what is the definition of multitasking? According to professionals, it is defined as performance on multiple tasks, with shifts in attention over a short time span. Our brains can be divided into mainly four parts, and one of them is the frontal lobes, which are the most frontal part of our brain. It takes charge when we are multitasking. Under two conditions, the brain handles the two tasks differently by either abandoning the primary one or delaying its execution. To find out the effects of multitasking on the performance of our brains, we will carry out an experiment to investigate whether people can pay attention to two things at one time and examine how our high-order thinking skills, such as the mathematical calculation, will be affected in multitasking.
In this experiment, what we need are two sets of mathematics tests, portable music players with headsets, a timer, and 10 volunteers.
Divided into two groups. In the first round, Group A would take Test A without their music players on, while Group B would take the test with the music players on. In the second round, the conditions of taking the tests by the two groups would be reversed, which means Group A can listen to the music while Group B would not listen to the music when doing the task B. And then we will record the time and score the papers. We will record the time and the scores. Here is a table showing the data of the experiments. And then we will interview the volunteers about the different feelings in the two rounds.
While listening to music is easier to do the test.
Maybe 1 second or 2 seconds, I'm listening to the music.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, well. To be honest, honestly, it's kind of stressing, disturbing, and I don't like listening to music while doing math. So actually, doing anything, I don't like listening to music. It's also confusing.
Okay, thank you. I think to some degree, yes, because I was distracted by the music when I do a calculation, because I think doing mathematics is different from writing an article because it needs we should be very concentrated on the figures. So I think I was kind of to some degree distracted by the music.
From the interviews, we found that different people have different feelings within the experiments. Some believe that listening to the music may cause a disturbance. Some think that it does no difference, and others believe that listening to the music helps relax themselves and focus better.
Let's briefly look at the data table of our experiment. We calculated the result of score divided by the time consumed by each volunteer, which represents the score each volunteer got within 1 second. The item can be regarded as the measurement of everyone's performance. We draw a line graph of the data from Group A. From the graph, it is easy to see that volunteers are doing better with the music. Then we do the same about the data of Group B. In this graph, even though there is one exception, we can still roughly conclude that the students have better performance with the music on. Also, we can conclude from the average performance of Group A and B that volunteers' performances improved when the music is being played. We can briefly look at the average score and time with and without the music. From the pie graph of the average score per second, we come to the conclusion that listening to the music does increase the performance of calculations.
As the questions of the two tests were relatively easy, according to a study carried out by the University of Redlands, music can reduce the boredom as well as the tension when the clock is running. Additionally, a certain degree of multitasking can increase a person's level of arousal. The level of arousal describes a person's cognitive alertness and awareness. By year 2000, when the level of arousal comes to a certain degree, performance peaks. As the tests are relatively easy, dual tasking of listening to music and doing calculations may bring volunteers' arousal level approaching to the peak. The next time, you can try listening to music when you are doing simple and repetitive revisions.